When the Olympics come to Los Angeles in 2028, trans women will not be allowed to compete in women's events. The White House is applauding this week's announcement, which lines up with administration policy. Also, anti-trans legislation is being pushed by the White House in the Save America Act and the No Kings protest today. They all set up the International Transgender Day of Visibility. That's coming up on Tuesday, happens every year on March 31st. To talk about all that from a personal perspective, I invited Emmy Award-winning entertainer and podcaster T.S. Madison to join us. T.S. Madison is in studio.
Yes.
Madison, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Victor.
You are one of the most visible trans Americans in movies, on television, podcasting. What is the value of a day of trans visibility in this moment?
People need to understand that your visibility is your activism, your presence is your advocacy, because we're living in a climate right now where the erasure of trans people is, it seems as it's been priority number one in this administration. And so what I enjoy about being T.S. Madison is that not only do I advocate for visibility, and my activism is rooted in you seeing me, I encourage others to not be afraid and to be, exactly who you are and live out loud. How long do we know life is?
Yeah.
And it's no reason for us to be living in the shadows.
It's been 12 years since your friend Laverne Cox was on the cover of Time magazine.
That's my girl.
Yeah, that cover, the transgender tipping point. And that was obviously a different climate in 2014.
It was.
You talked about the erasure. Talk about some of the things that I've heard from your team impacting you in this climate.
Currently right now, I'm going through a lot of situations in my own personal life, and I'm doing my best now to fight back against that. I plan on trying to communicate around a bill that helps people like myself in stalking situations and harassment and cyberbullying and doxing. And so what I've learned through this situation that's going on in my personal life right now is that the judicial system still works, and that the protections for people in general, just human beings, it still works. Because what I've noticed in the social climate of the situation is that I've been dehumanized because I'm trans, and a large percentage of us are, well, majority of trans people are being dehumanized. And so because of that, people think that the law is not there to protect us because of what's going on in politics, but the law still works for human beings. And so my goal is to push for new sanctions and bills for the protection of trans people.
Talking about protection, and specifically on trans people of color, the Human Rights Campaign Foundation, they published their latest numbers. This was on Trans Day of Remembrance, end of last year. Tracking violence against the trans community. Since 2013, 70% of transgender and gender nonconforming victims of violence were people of color. 82% transgender women. Nearly 60% were black trans women. 71% of them shot to death. We don't talk enough, I think, about the physical threat to not only trans people, but people of color. What do we need to know behind those numbers?
We need to know that behind those numbers is that people are always trying to find some way to justify it. And the reason why it's not talked about enough is because what I'm noticing from the social climate is everyone is always trying to blame the victim or find fault within the victim, instead of listening to the people, to the victim say, I'm a victim.
At the center of the political conversation right now is the Save America Act. President Trump initially wanted this to be about voting and requiring passport or citizenship to register to vote, but then added trans legislation prohibiting transgender athletes from playing on sports teams aligned with their gender identity, banning already rare surgical procedures for trans youth. What do you make of that making its way to the center of the political conversation and to a voting bill? Well,
you have to understand that votes count and you need people to vote. And so the way that you garner votes is you fearmonger, especially from this regime. Do you know how much I've watched people say, I don't agree with this, what the president is doing, and I don't agree with the policies of this, but that trans stuff, I can get with that. Like I want to protect my kids. How can we protect my kids from trans? No, you need to be protecting your kids from the people that are making these laws.
Let me ask you one more thing here. On last year's day of Trans Day of Visibility, you launched
The T.S.
Starter
Madison
House.
Starter House, yes.
Yes, tell me about that.
The T.S. Madison Starter House is an initiative that I and myself and my friend Dominique Morgan, we came up with this idea because she is a system impacted girl. I'm a former in sex work that, you know, my career catapulted into mainstream media. And I wanted to open a safe space and create a space for trans women who are trying to find their way. Especially with the way that the government has rolled back any help on any grants or
Any support
or funding, you know. So we decided that let community help community. We don't need your help. We've never needed your help. We can raise enough money and put girls in and out of the home and you know, reintroduce them to life, and so that they can find their way. Like if I was able to overcome from being system impacted, you can too. And what other guide would you have besides T.S. Madison?
T.S. Madison, thank you so much for coming in as we look ahead to this day of trans visibility. I appreciate the conversation.
Well, listen, Victor, thank you so much for having me. And you're always welcome to come out to one of my live shows.
I have seen it. I have been there at the City Winery here in Atlanta, and it is a good time.
It's a hoot, ain't it?
It is indeed.
A hoot and a holler.
T.S. Madison, thank you.
Thank you, love.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.
Yeah.